Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about usually when they're overcompensating like that. Doordash UberEats driver shares a sign to watch out for that says a customer intends to tip bait. So as Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers, it is our responsibility to make sure that we are getting the most amount of money in the least amount of time in the safest possible way. That said, one of the ways that some people are talking about is avoiding customers that are not worth working with. And in some cases, that means the overcompensating customer because they are effectively trying to tip bait you. So with that said, we are talking about everything that is being said in this article, how it actually is for Doordash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. An Uber Eats driver says that a customer backed out of a tip after she completed an order and shares other signs of potentially stingy customers. That's not a stingy customer. That is a scumbag customer. You decided to tip that much to your driver and then out of nowhere rescinded it. I have had bad experiences with drivers. I don't mess with other people's money. That's just how it is. Are there ways you can get that money back? Sure, that doesn't make it right. In a now viral video, TikTok user Epicroamingadventures at Epicroamingadventures says that she recently experienced tip baiting. I'm going to leave her TikTok as well as her profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. According to the TikToker, Uber Eats allows customers to edit their tip up to an hour after the delivery is completed. So, to attract Uber Eats contractors, some customers will promise a sky-high tip in the app just to edit it to a lower amount later. Now, in a lot of cases, they don't reveal the full tip, or they'll reveal up to a certain amount and then they'll start hiding it. So that way, in the event that that happens, a driver who's calling support to get that money back, which I have done multiple times and have made videos on, me specifically doing that, they don't have to give you back the full amount of the tip. They're not losing as much. Either way, it's not okay to tip bait. It's not okay to hide the tip. I don't even think customers should have that ability. If you're committing to a certain amount to tip the driver, you shouldn't be able to lower it for any reason. What is tip baiting? Other platforms like Doordash do not allow customers to remove their tip. Instead, if they have issues with the order, they are directed to customer service. You can criticize Doordash for a lot of things, and I will stand firmly on your side with a lot of those things. The one thing I think Doordash doesn't do, and I think has been so good on their part, is that they don't allow tip baiting on their platform. They don't condone crappy customer behavior in that way. Gotta give credit where credit is due. DoorDash did that right so hard.
So yesterday I had an order for Target where you actually have to go and park, go in the store, shop for them, and then deliver it to wherever they are, typically their house. So this order was kind of low for what it was. It was like 9 something, but it was on my way home. So I said, you know what? I haven't been in Target for a while. That'll be enjoyable. I went in, I shopped for her. It was like 12 items. I was very prompt. I got it to her. She's like, thank you so much. I couldn't have done this without you today. And, just thank you. And usually when they're overcompensating like that, it means they're either not going to tip you more or they might reduce it.
Okay, I see what you're trying to say there. If the customer is a meet at the door customer, they're one of two customers. One, no emotion, no face whatsoever. Like they're almost dodging any kind of interaction with you. Or it's the exact opposite where they're being as fake as possible and then will reduce it later. It's one or the other.
And sure enough, she took the tip away. She reduced it down to like 6 something. So it was completely not worth my time.
You could also contact support to get that $3 back, but that's up to you if you want to take that route. A lot of drivers think that it's not worth the phone call, but it's really up to you. How can Uber protect driver pay? In the comments, viewers criticized Uber's tipping policy and suggest ways for the company to protect their drivers' pay. Uber needs to monitor that. And after doing it 3 or 4 times, you get an automatic $5 driver assurance fee added. Refunded if the tip remains the same. If not, the driver gets it, one user wrote. I respectfully disagree. They should remove that feature for customers entirely and said, hey, you fucked around and you found out. That's something that drivers should not have to deal with. You committed to a certain amount for pay and you refuse to provide it. That's their choice. That's their fuck up. That was them. I think the company should pay you enough that's worth your time, and tip should just be a nice bonus. Lowering the tip shouldn't be an option, but still the company should pay, another user said. And you know what? In a perfect world, that'd be great. The reality is Uber isn't. While that sentiment is factually accurate, we still have to look out for our own income, which is why that shouldn't be an option regardless. The pay does need to be higher though. You're absolutely right. Other Uber Eats drivers validated TikToker's theory by sharing their own experiences. That's definitely the one thing I hate about it. Happens a lot where I'm at. A commenter said, I delivered an entire shopping cart full of groceries and they took the tip away, a third added. That's even worse in my opinion. It's one thing if it's just a delivery, like a restaurant pickup, right? And then you do that restaurant pickup, then you pick it up right away and you drop it off, right? Fine, I understand that. But if you're doing that for a grocery order, and this is my biggest gripe with Instacart too, you are spending how much time doing that Instacart order just for the order to be taken away? Gross. Really gross. Like, wow. Tip baiting versus app glitch. Tip baiting is definitely a thing. In fact, the CEO of Uber even reportedly experiencing it while working undercover as a driver. However, a driver on this Uber Eats forum encourages others to wait before jumping to conclusions. Sometimes tips don't register for hours. In my experience, this has only happened on stacked orders. Thankfully, it's rare. It happened to me about 10 times in 17,000 deliveries with Eats. I generally wait 3 hours to verify if it's a legit tip bait or not, a driver wrote. He continued, don't be like me and get expletive off at what I thought were tip baits. Upon further investigation, they weren't tip baits at all. This is outdated information, but there was truth to it at some point. And sometimes it even takes longer than that in some cases. But what can happen too, the app will see it as the tip processing. They updated it now where it actually still says the tip is processing. If it's done processing and it's still at the same amount, you got tip baited. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. Then you pay me. There you go. There are a bunch of customer behaviors that are absolutely consistent. Some people find that it's the lack of emotion. Some are like, it's the ones with the really long instructions that always end up giving me tip baiting issues. Sometimes people say it's when they're over emotional is when they're gonna tip bait you. It really depends. Either way, do yourself a favor and study customer behaviors. You're gonna find there are more customers that'll treat you right than you give it credit for. And once you start to not accept orders and accept treatment from certain customers, you start to realize how much better off you're gonna be not dealing with them. All in all, just do yourself a favor, study customer behaviors and work with the right kind of people. And then these things won't happen as much at all. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.